Okay, so let's wait for a while. Dad, you're fine?
Yeah, okay.
I can see that's close body language
Why so close?
to unleash everything that's beautiful. Okay, let's just let me do a quick check. Okay, parents, thanks so much for being here. This is Coach John from Learning Out of the Box, and today I have the privilege of having two very special guests. Hello, Roy and Kyra.
Hi.
Okay, let me just do a short intro because parents may not know why Papa and daughter are here. Yeah. Okay. Today we are going to talk about sports and growing up with my dad, with Roy and Kyra Poh, and Roy Poh and Kyra. And Kyra has herself is a Redbull athlete and indoor skydiving champion. So later I will show a YouTube clip of what it's about. Yeah. So today, because I think that I've watched your clip and I know that have spent a lot of time in shaping up who you are since your growing up years. So I want to hear from that. How was Kyra's growing up years like, and how do you decide what to do? So over to that first, then to Kyra. Yeah.
Hi. Since young, Kira's infant time is actually looked after by her grandmother. So both me and my wife, we were working quite long hours. And then she was kind of getting a little bit difficult because she's the first child. And actually all of our friends, okay, we were the first, me and my wife, we were the first one to have a kid. So we got no one to look at, no one to learn. So in fact, people were like looking at us, to learn from us. So we learned along the way. There's no hard and fast rule of what to do. So starting couple of years was quite difficult because as a first grandchild, she was very, very spoiled. So her infant years were looked after by grandmother, and of course, grandparents will dote on their grandchildren and kind of spoil her whenever they can. So later on, I decided to work from home and kind of starting to spend more time together with Kyra. And then we also have another baby, Vera, our younger daughter. She's 7 years younger than her. So the gap is quite wide. So how she goes into indoor skydiving is actually coincidental. She was actually into competitive swimming.
Wow.
Yeah, and then my wife, she works in an advertising agency, and iFly was actually her client, and we wanted to do a video shoot to kind of promote the place. So, because the place is not open, so we cannot, ask people that we don't know to come in to audition and then see who can fly better, so they can be a talent for the video. So we can only get friends, our own children and all that. And then so Kyra and her friend came for audition and they were chosen. So that's how they started. Yeah. So if we talk about parenting, what kind of style of parenting does me and my wife have? I wouldn't say we have a particular style. I mean, we definitely try to be balanced, but also depending on situations. We can be strict as well. We can be relaxed. I mean, like what I say is always situational. Maybe you want to hear from her whether
yes,
are we strict to her
I can see her not. Yeah, so I want to hear from her. So when your father said that sometimes he's strict and sometimes he's more relaxed, so what are the cases that decide if he's strict or he's relaxed, in your own opinion?
Yeah, I think I would agree. My mom is more of the stricter one in the family, I would say. So she's the one that every time I do something small, she would try to correct me and scold me. But for my father, I feel that it is very situational. Like, for example, we always play around, and he's known as like the silly person in the family where he always makes us laugh and everything. But we know that when he's serious and he's upset, we know to follow the rules and to give him respect, because obviously one of the big rules in my family is respect is the most important. So we treat I treat my parents like my friends, but at the same time, there comes a time that if we have to be scolded, then we show them respect. Yeah.
Actually, I mean, we have a couple of rules that we want to teach our children, which is the most important is to be a better human being. So it comes with, you know, like respect people, to treat people well, as in know what is right and what is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
As in, so things like studies and all that, we don't push them to study. They should know whether it's the right time to study, whether it's the right time to play. You know, they should know that like if they cheat in exam, they should know that it's wrong. They should own up. I mean, everything is they have to be responsible for what they do. I mean, that's what we always, you know, teach them. Like whatever you do, you have to be responsible, own up to your mistake. I mean, we are not strict in that way, but we tell them if you don't do, like, you know, you don't be a better human being, and that's wrong.
Yeah.
And it sounds to me that there are many rules. I mean, there are a few rules, but these rules are very important rules to the family. Yes, at the same time, I know that there are many parents out there who are also trying to enforce rules at home. So what will you say to the parents? Because sometimes it's very gray in a sense of when do you let go, when do you pull tight. So as a parent, how do you decide when to do what?
I don't think there's a hard and fast rule
Mm.
on parenting, because everybody's situation is different.
Yeah.
And also depends on how the kid, like how they, you know, is being how they are being managed as well. So certain kids excel better if you take the soft approach. Certain kids, you know, do better when you are hard on them. So I don't know. I don't think there's a hard and fast rule to everything. It's like I say, it's always situational.
Yeah.
Great.
I think I agree, like very much so. Like I see how my parents, because obviously I'm the older sibling, so I see how my parents treat me versus how they treat my sister. And I say like the way they approach and to tell us whether we're wrong or to get us to, like, for example, do our work or something is really different. Like for my sister, I guess my mom and my dad is more like soft on her. But for me, I'm a bit of like a naughty first child, right? So my parents would be a little bit more stricter. But I feel like it really depends on the relationship that you have with the parent, not really just like the set rules that you have, because it really depends on like how we communicate within one another or something. Yeah, it really changes.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, communication is actually very important in building a relationship with the children, and understanding their character as well. Like she says, she's the stubborn one. So for her, when we need her to do something, we got to be a bit harsher. And then for the younger one, kind of like a softer approach.
Just curious, yeah, because I can hear that you shared that probably there may be some different parenting style for the older kid versus the younger kid. Yeah, so I know that some of my friends' kids may say that it's not fair because why Zhe can do this and why not me, or why Mimi can do this and why not? Why not?
I don't think it's about age though. I think it's more about character. Okay, so for Zhe, it's like she's a go-getter. Okay, so we don't have to push her to do. I mean, since young, we don't have to push her to do a homework. We don't have to push her to study during exam. She will, you know, do it on her own, right? So I mean, that's a character. So for the younger one, we need to give her the extra push, and then it's not, I don't think that she, and then we explained to her, it's because your sister, we don't have to push her. She do it on her own. But if you do it on your own, we don't have to push you. So things like that, when you explain to a child, I'm very sure she'll understand, because she looks at her sister. It's like when there's an exam, she study all the time.
Wow.
And then she put in so much hard work in her flying as well. So I mean, kids are not, they are not stupid. They can see. They won't say that, hey, it's unfair for me. But if, of course, if she is put in extra, I mean, she put in extra or work harder than her sister, then of course it's unfair. You can tell. I mean, I'm sure every parents know their kids. Okay, whether they tried their best or not, you can see. So what we always tell our children is, as long as you try your best, even if you fail at your exam, even if you lose in a competition, but as long as you try your best,
You give it your all, doesn't matter.
yeah. So that's what we ask for. So of course if they tell you, but I really tried my best, and you know whether you tried, you will know whether your kid tried their best because you know them all their life. So if you know that they didn't try your best, and then they tell you, but I actually tried your best, you say, no, you did not try your
Thanks
best.
for sharing.
Yeah. So
great. Yes. Okay. I just want to zoom into Roy for a short while, lah. Okay. Can okay. Yeah. Because I believe that a lot of times as parents, how we were brought up when we were young, actually it impacts our parenting style on our own kids. Yeah. Could you just briefly share with us, like how was your years like?
Actually, I grew up in a very simple family setup. My parents, my mother is a housewife. My father works maybe a couple of jobs just to, bring food on the table. Very simple. No extra activities or whatever. Every time it's just at home, study, play with friends, don't have much toys. Every day we have simple meals, and then when my dad bring back like extra food, like jia liao to the dinner, oh, we'll be so happy. I mean, everything is like super simple. And then it's at first I was kind of realized that we were simple, and then I realized my dad actually works very hard to support the family, because every now and then he will bring in like stuff for us to do at home, like little electronic stuff and all that, but it's actually work. So we do like hundreds, thousands of all this electronic stuff, and then he will just bring it back, to get extra income. And sometimes he'll bring back like a lot of canned food, groceries, and all that. And then we build hampers, and then build hampers to give back to the hamper people. That's to earn extra money. All this occurs actually quite frequently. So we were actually working very hard since young, working very hard to kind of, I wouldn't say support the family, is more like keeping the family close. So how I feel I was brought up is, we try to always help the family, support the family. I mean, of course, financially, and that way kind of like it brought us close together. So I actually stopped getting allowance from my parents when I finished primary 6. So I actually started working when I was 13 years old. So I work part-time every day after school. I'll take a bus to this food court and work until at night I'll take a bus back. So 13 years old, and then it goes on to like 15, 16, and then I start to work at cold storage, in the ice cream department, frozen food department, and then started to work in the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of getting allowance from my parents, I actually started to give them allowance as well to, help out. And it's not that I have to give them, but I give it willingly because I want my family to be happy. I want my family to share the benefits together. So I guess kind of applies to what we are doing now. I feel that, for to bring up children well, we need to work as a unit, and especially between me and my wife. Of course, the husband and the wife needs to communicate, needs to know what is happening, because sometimes children will play kind of double-headed snake. So they'll tell you one thing, and then they'll say, Papa say can do this. And then go to mommy say, go to me and say, mommy say can do this. Go to mommy and say, Papa say can do this. So
This is smart.
we need to be, me and my wife need to be a unit to know that whether sometimes the kids are trying to cheat us or not. So very important is, I feel, to bring up children that is well balanced.
Mm-hmm.
The whole family need to work together as a unit. I mean, to keep the every single person happy, to put in whatever you can contribute, be it financial, be it support, time, energy. I mean, all this actually counts in bringing up, children in a healthy family environment. Yeah.
Great. Thanks for sharing that. And I heard, and I caught a part that being independent since young, and I heard a part on giving back to the family whenever you can. Yeah. So for Kyra, as you're hearing from your dad, and I believe that that actually has a great influence on you. What are some of the traits that you feel that you have gotten off from him?
I say I would try to have a lot of good time management for my dad. I know he always tells me since he was young, whenever he comes home, he will straight away do his work, get all his stuff done. So for me, obviously, like in this day and age, also like influenced by technology, I feel like I get distracted a lot. So I think what I've gotten from him is to have better time management, I think. And also maybe to have better communication with my parents. I feel like sometimes I'm in my own world and I do things like by myself and I just carry out my own daily activities. But my parents are always waiting for me to tell me their my plan and everything. So I feel like I've learned from my dad to be more to have a better communication with a communicative relationship with my parents. To let them know. Actually, to have to be initiative. I try. But yeah, I'm still learning, I think. I'm definitely not as independent as my dad was because I'm very busy with my flying and everything. So usually I don't have a lot of time. Like if I'm really training very hard, I don't have a lot of time to like sit down and eat or for transportation. So usually my parents would fetch me wherever I go and I can eat dinner in the car when going for training or whatever. So I say I am very dependent on my parents, which I hope to be better at because I'm going for university soon.
Oh, wow. And I also want to push a bit. What are some of the best things that your dad, that you feel that your dad has done for you, and probably some of the things that you haven't told him, but in your own heart you know that these are some of the things that that has done for me, and I always remember.
I wouldn't say, okay, I say our relationship is very different because, for example, he takes care of more of the aspects of like my everyday life. So whether I wake up on time, I have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or like if I get to like go to different places, like if I have to go to the gym to work out for my training, or I have to be fetched the iFly. So I wouldn't say there's a very, very big thing, but I say it's all the small nuances that he does that really makes a difference. Like for example, I will wake up and he will prepare for me breakfast. I think just so I can get like an extra 20 minutes of sleep. Because usually like when I'm training really hard, my school finishes at around 5 and I train till like maybe 10. And then I do work till like 1 or 2 o'clock. So like he knows, he has taught me how important sleep is and he really wants me to get like enough sleep. So usually he just does the small things that means a lot. I would say like prepare for me a really nice breakfast, or like purposely get my favorite like bun or something, so that when I wake up I'm more like happy to go to school. Yeah, I think it's the small things that really like binds us together. And I think that because I'm really busy, we share a lot of our like very nice moments when we are in the car. So I try not to use my phone in the car and take the time to like talk to my dad, because I know a lot of people will like listen to their own music on their headphones or whatever, you know, like teenagers like jamming in the car. But we have this rule that we try to follow, that is like in the car we don't use our phones, and on the dinner table especially. Like I know a lot of people that when I go to restaurants, you're always on your phones. And I think that a big part of my family's rule is like when a family comes together, we spend time together. So yeah.
Great. And back to Roy, because I think that there are many parents who are really stuck. Those parents that I've talked to, because their kids are addicted to the use of mobile phones, even as young as maybe 3 or 4. Yeah. So I think I want to hear from you, if can, like how you first set rules in a house that
actually we don't really have, other than what she said, no phone on dinner table, and when in the car. Oh, in the car, because I don't like them to feel sick after. So after
car sick.
No problem.
The reason behind.
So more for dinner table. So for me is like what I said earlier, is all about being responsible for themselves. They can use the phone as much as they want, as long as they finish what they have to finish. Their work is done, revision done, homework done, bathe, whatever, finish, they can use the phone, no problem. So no, I don't think there's any restriction, because me and my wife always want them to be responsible for themselves. If they feel that it's too much phone, then put it down.
Yeah, I actually completely agree. It's like when you take something away from, like, especially like for me, I feel if you take something away from me, I would want to get it back. I would want to get it back. And then it becomes an addiction of when I have it, I have to use it. But I feel like because my parents have always given me the liberation to use it whenever I want, like I know how to control my own time, and they don't use it against me. So I think, yeah.
So, but they only a couple of times for the younger one, that but we don't snatch her phone, or we don't scold her. We will just tell her, I think you spend long enough, you know what to do. And then she'll just stop, or she'll just another 5 minutes. She'll just say, okay, another 5 minutes. So yeah. More importantly, I think they have to be responsible for themselves.
Yes, and I like the parts that you keep on mentioning about being responsible. Yeah, because I feel that when I talk to parents, a lot of times, the parents may have given them the phone or the kids the phone without instilling the value of being responsible. So now many of them have a hard time trying to get a phone back, because it's like a tussle between the parent and child, and end up one will cry.
I think even before we passed phone to, okay, I don't know about her, because hers is too long ago. I don't remember. So for the younger one, before we gave her anything like iPhone or iPad, we told her the limit, her responsibility, everything is upfront on the table already. So if she breaks the promise, sometimes we keep the thing for a couple of days. That was when she was younger. So if you lay out everything on the table, and then she can't go back on the words, you know what I mean? So everything is already out. You break the rule, you get punished.
Mm. When you say the word punish, what do you really mean?
Punish is like, let's say if she didn't do her homework and then she's still on her phone, she's not being responsible. So in that case, I'll just take the phone and then I say, I'll only return you when you finish your homework, or maybe I return you tomorrow, like kind of punishment.
And I also want to revisit the parts that and you mentioned that sometimes our kids may say different things to different parents.
Right.
Yeah, like maybe you can tell Papa say Mama say yes, and go to Mama say Papa say yes, so both get yes.
Yes.
How you manage that?
Especially for her, when she was young. Sometimes that's how me and my wife always argue. So sometimes we realize, okay, that's not the right way to go. To be very honest, this to bring up good children. Okay, one friend of ours always tell us, first you have to have a good relationship with your wife before you can bring up good children. So communication with the spouse is actually very important. And let's say when my wife have a certain principle about something, so when she scold the children or she teaches the children something, you cannot disagree in front of the children. If you want to disagree, you have to tell her or discuss with her when the children are not around. I mean, this kind of thing is actually very important, because you cannot contradict each other in front of the children, and then the children are thinking, oh, okay, next time I can use that against them.
No.
I can go behind them and then do certain things and all that. So, but when they know that their father and mother talks to each other all the time, they cannot. Then there's no way they can like try to lie or try to cheat you anymore, because whatever I tell Papa, Mommy will know. Whatever I tell Mommy, Papa will know. So you got to kind of let the children know that we are one unit. Father and mother are one unit. So you cannot go behind one and then try to cheat the other, go behind the other, try to cheat the other. So yeah, so it's impossible for them to do that if they know that the couple is one unit.
I don't know if I agree with this actually. Like for me now, I think I'm old enough to like see my parents' relationship, and I think that like even though if they agree on the surface level, like towards us, like us as children, we're not stupid as well. Like we know they disagree, and I would think I actually prefer my parents to disagree in front of me, because I think as a child, especially for a teenager, we know this idea of marriage, of course, and we know it's not perfect. So I think like no child would want their parent to fight, because like I think I realized I stopped doing all these bad habits when I realized that my parents actually fought. So it doesn't matter whether they fight behind us. I feel like if they quarrel in front of the children, it seems more raw, and I feel like it gives me the idea that yeah, it's true, parents are not perfect, and like I should not do anything to affect my parents, because like which child would want their parents' relationship to be spoiled because of them, you know what I mean? So I think from a child's perspective, like especially for me, like once I saw that.
I'm losing you.
Oh, like hello.
Yes. Can you repeat your last sentence, because I think there's a break.
Yeah, like I think especially for a teenager, like when you see your parents quarrel because of something what you like something like what you did, I think that that's really impactful, and it doesn't matter whether they hide it or not. Like as a teenager, you would want your parents to have a good relationship, so you would stop that because you're responsible for yourself. Yeah.
Directly from the horse's mouth.
Yes. And also I can imagine, and my kid telling me when they are her age now, Papa, you fight in front of me, don't need to fight. I want to see you fight.
Yeah.
Thanks, Trent, because I think it was also very good to hear from a teenager, like what are your perspectives, so that we parents can be better parents in the future.
Yeah, I don't think it's about being like better actually. I just think it's about being more honest. Like growing up, I always thought like parents are perfect, you know what I mean?
Mm.
But parents are still humans and they still make mistakes. So I think like for a child to see my parents like have mistakes and not being the best person, I think it helps me understand that I cannot do anything to make their relationship be worse because they are still humans. So why be a mean person?
Awesome. I can see that like giving you a big pat and say, wow, and now you know how I feel.
She very proud of her lah. She always sometimes make me tear.
Yeah. I mean, I can really see that. Wow, she's so mature in her thinking.
Yeah. Just I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So she's supposed to be at the library, and then I'm supposed to pick her up at a certain time. So I text her, "Where are you?" And then she sent me a picture. And then I say, what place is this?
Not
This
the library.
So later she told me she's at my parents' place. So okay, every weekend we'll go to my parents' place for dinner, or for the grandparents to catch up with them. But certain weeks, if we are busy or they're busy, and then we won't go, right? So, but she didn't tell us, and then she just figured out her way to visit her grandparents with cakes and kueh and all that. And I was like, so touched. Yeah, very very touched. Even my parents, they had a shock. It's like when she came into the door, they were looking behind. Where's Papa? Where's Mommy?
Wow.
Yeah.
I can almost feel tears in my eyes already. So back to Kyra. So what motivated you to do that?
I think it's purely based on love. I think because I know that obviously, like I try to empathize with my family members now. Okay, now at first I think when I was a child, obviously I didn't because I was the first child and everything. But we usually go to my grandparents' house only with my family, and it's become like only like a 1 week kind of thing. So because I've been studying a lot for my exams, I have not been going with my family. So I figured that like if I had the time to like go out and shop and go to a shopping mall, like must well use the time to like go visit someone that actually cares about me. So yeah, that's why I decided to go and like give them a surprise. I really like surprising people. I feel like seeing other people happy makes me very, very happy, especially if it's my family. So yeah, I try. Not all the time I'm very nice, but sometimes when I feel when I feel it, yeah.
So I told my wife, and then I text my wife because she was outside that Kyra did this, and then she just texted me back say we brought up our daughter well. Yeah.
So how you felt when you received the message from your wife?
Oh yeah, tear a bit lah.
I can even hear Papa's voice is breaking a bit, right? If you can observe, yeah. I mean, this is the mature thing about being a family and also having children who are growing up. And sometimes when they do things, they do surprise us and it really warms us, like what's happening right now.
Yes. Yeah. Very very touched.
Yeah, wonderful. Yes, at the same time, you mentioned that on the weekends, you visit your parents, yeah. And I know that's for families with strong bonds, they do have family like the routines, yeah. So what are the other routines in your family that you make sure that will happen so that bring the family together?
Actually, our routines are very seasonal. I'll say
seasonal. What do you mean by seasonal?
Seasonal meaning we don't.
The fruits.
Other than visiting my parents, for since they were born and all that, the other routines is like according to trend. Maybe like sometimes we will swim for every other day.
We go wakeboarding.
Or go wakeboarding.
Wow.
But of course, other than the whole family will go for the iFly training. So that's like almost every Saturday. leisure routine is like I say, is seasonal lah. So
We cycle a lot together actually.
I mean that started only like maybe a couple of months ago. Like I say, it's seasonal. I mean it could end next month, and then we might find new activity to do. So, but we try to spend time together as much as possible, especially during this period where she, because of the COVID, she cannot participate in competitions overseas. Yeah, so she actually had a lot more time for us.
If not, the other way around,
if not, she will have to travel. I would say maybe 4 to 5 times a year.
Yeah.
So every time is about 2 weeks, and then because of her competition and her traveling, when she's back, she has a lot of work to catch up in school, and because of that, she cannot do any other activities. So let's say on a regular year, she will spend her time only on competition, training, school. Competition, training, school. So she seldom go out with her friends as well. This year is the most time that she has went out with her friends because she didn't go for any competition.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
Yeah.
I think for our family, we don't try to instill like a specific time or specific like activity that we have to do. Like for me and my sister, we are very close by nature to my parents, but I feel that like if they keep forcing me like, okay, on Friday night we have to play like 1 hour together family time, I feel like it's very imposed. But for our family, we have created this bond that like we want to spend time with our family, you know what I mean? So it's not like a specific activity that we're doing. I think whatever we're doing doesn't matter like if it's seasonal, like whatever thing we change into, we're always like spending time because we want to be there, not more of like we're forced to.
Yeah, not like following a timetable. Oh, go for this, go for that, for 1 hour, for 1.5 hours. Yeah, I mean a bit too structured maybe, I guess.
Yeah, we just see, because obviously like my sister and I were very our age gap is really wide. So obviously the things we will be interested in is very different. So I feel like we don't like we always come together as a family, but we also have like our individual time. Like what my dad said, he would swim like with my sister almost every day. And for my mom, like my mom and I hang out a lot together, and she actually like shares a room with me. So like sometimes I would want her to like share a room with me because we can talk and like be like as friends rather than like parents.
Yes, there are so many questions that I want to ask you. Okay, okay. I think first I want to ask you about the friends. Yeah, because I think that when I talk to the parents, I told them that sometimes you need to be a parent, you need to be a friend. Yeah. So, but where is a line as a teenager? So where do you think is a line that a parent should be a parent and or a friend?
I guess is when you do something wrong, right? Like for teenagers especially, like for me, I am very stubborn. My mom and my dad has made it very clear that I always think I'm right, which is true. But I think sometimes where it draws the line is when I know that I did something wrong. So like with my dad, we always joke, and I would say like we have banter, you know, like we're like sometimes we're rude to one another, but it's more of like friendly, like how you like quarrel with your friends, kind of make mean comments sometimes. So we do have this like fun side of our family where we like just disturb one another, insult one another, but at the same time, like when we know we did something wrong, the whole tone changes. And I feel like for my parents, like scolding me is not just the sake for scolding. Like for example, my mother, like she was scolding me the other day for like maybe something that I did, but halfway when she was scolding me, I stopped her and I said like, okay, I'm sorry, like I understand my mistake, so you don't have to like waste your time scolding me because I understand already, like I'm sorry, I reflected. So then at the same time, I think because we're honest with one another, like I feel that when she scolds me, it helps me learn more than just like punishing me and making me feel bad.
What about for Roy as a dad? How do you draw the line between being a fun dad and a serious dad, and also a parent and a friend?
I guess about same as what she has mentioned. I don't think I don't think she is ever like really friends with me. It's more like she treats me as sometimes as a fun dad. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I feel our relationship, or rather how a father and a children relationship get closer is because of interaction, communication, and also helping each other solve problems. Um, I mean, whenever she have problems, I mean, because I'm into the arts, I'm doing
Yeah.
art, and then she's from art school, so sometimes she consult me on certain stuff and all that. So helping her solve problem kind of make our relationship closer, and she's also very good in the arts, in drawing and all that. Sometimes I will ask her things as well. So it's like, yeah,
Like a consultant.
consultant, like, I'm going to ask her to do how to do some sculpturing and all that, which I hinted to her the other day. So I will consult you in the near future.
With a fee, yeah?
No.
Yeah. So
Just
I don't know. It's kind of like, I feel sometimes it could be a working relationship. It's like, okay, it's like let's say in a company.
Yeah.
I'm the boss.
Yeah.
She's my employee. So if the employee goes into the office and then say, oh, the boss is always not around, why is the communication? Or if the employee goes to the office and then the boss is always so demanding, come here, why you didn't do this, why you didn't do that, whatever. So that I wouldn't be perceived as a good boss.
Mm-hmm.
But how the relationship works is sometimes the boss needs to help the employee solve a problem, or the employee helps the boss solve a problem. So works both way, I guess. I mean, to have a good employee, like a good doctor, I mean, of course, yeah. I mean, I guess it's how I'm setting example as a company. It's like I want to be a good boss, and then she wants to be a good employee. So yeah, I guess not. I don't think we are like friends kind of thing.
Okay,
Because
mommy.
more her mommy lah. For me, is more like I try to be a cool dad lah, if possible.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah. And what I caught from you is I think also congruence in the workplace as well as being at home. Yeah. So how you talk to your co-workers, it could be the same way or similar to how you talk to your kids as well. Yeah. And I want to ask you about the way that you ask Kyra on how to solve the problems. Yeah. So how exactly do you ask? Because I know that some parents, when they say I will discuss with my kids, but theirs is more like top down. You do this, you do that. Yeah. So I want to hear from you, like how exactly do you discuss with her?
I don't think I ever talk down to my children.
Even when young?
In fact, how we usually treat our children is to treat them as adults. Um, like like I said earlier, being responsible. I mean, that's a very adult thing to do.
Yep.
You have to be responsible if you want to do this, kind of thing. So like even when she does a piece of work, I if I think it's really nice, I'll tell her this is really nice, and I don't think I can do something like that. It's always, it's not like, oh, I'm the father, I shouldn't show her that I'm weaker. I think it's okay to show that your children that you are bad at doing this, and in fact, she can draw better than me, and I tell her all the time she can draw better than me. So like the other day, I was telling her that I'm doing a sculpturing project, and then I want to seek her consultation because she's done a few projects on that. So and then she said, sure, Okay. So, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, and I really love the way that you talk about your child. Yeah, it's like both of you are at the same level in the house, and yes, there's much respect going on.
Yeah, I guess certain topics we don't need to have the parent and children role. I mean, if you talk about arts, she might know even more than me. So unless we're talking about, discipline or what is right and what is wrong, then of course I will take on the parent role. But depends on what topics we're talking about. I don't always have to be the parent, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think like for me as a teenager, like I've got the understanding that of course my parents know what is right, but at the same time they are human, right? So like sometimes like maybe their perspective they think is right, but I don't. So like we always like discuss and more like break down our emotions rather than just getting like okay, more of me and him, like more than getting like defensive, we more like talk it out. So for example, if he says like you shouldn't have done this, like instead of just talking down to me, like I explain to him why I did it, and then he can correct like my mindset behind it rather than just plainly scolding me, because then I will never understand. Like I would just never do it again, but I wouldn't know like why I wouldn't do it. You know what I mean? Like you actually like break down like the values behind it and you understand why you shouldn't, like to be a better person, basically.
Wow, thanks for that. Yeah, because and I got it because I would love to hear from you also. Like because and I know that you are busy with your school and your commitments. Yeah. So how you balance your private life as well as doing well and also excelling in uh in the sports.
I think it's to be driven and to like love what you do. Like for me, obviously nobody really likes studying. Of course, like as a teenager, like we just want to go out and party and
I can
everything.
hear all that. I can see all that. Like ah.
But I think my parents have instilled the value that
Yeah.
like this like work hard, play hard mentality. So like I only feel that I can really play and like celebrate very hard when I know that I put in my 100% to work hard. You know what I mean? So I think that that's what I really respect from my parents. And I think one thing that they did like really well since I was young is to encourage me to do sports. Because I think sports, other than being like physically like fit and everything, it really helped me change my perspective. Like since young, of course, it's my parents parenting at the same time. But I think that by like my parents making me go for a sport, I really matured a lot, because when I competed in like competitions, I was forced to like know how to behave myself, to have the right values of being a good sports person. And that has repercussions if you don't behave well in a sporting event, of course. So I think that these real world experiences that my parents made me go through since I was young really shaped me. Like since I was like 5 years old, I was doing competitive swimming. So I had to represent a team, and I had to know like the values of like being confident and working hard in order for your like in order for all working your work hard to pay off. Yeah. So I think that I learned like this balance in between. Yeah.
Yes, and at the same time, because we serve a group of parents who teach our children primary school math, and now many kids may want to go to the school through DSA, and we know that they have to do well in sports as well.
Yeah.
So from our experience, what are some of the advice that you give to these young friends who want to focus more on sports?
Math or sports? You said yes.
Okay, because I would say that these are the kids who are aiming to go into a sports school through
Yeah.
DSA. Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
what are some of your advice that you can give them to do well in the sports school?
I think first of all, to even like do sports for a long time, we're thinking about long term, right? Because you're going into the school, like the sports school. I
Yeah.
think to really have a passion for the sport. Like people sometimes, like I try to inspire as many people as possible, but sometimes people look at me and they go like, oh, I want to be a world champion too, like I want to like get all the medals too. But I feel like that's the wrong like mindset, because like you don't just join a sport in order to win, but you join more based on like the journey.
Yeah.
I think enjoying like what you learn throughout the sport is more important. So if they want to do a sport to go into sports school, it should not be driven because of for example, other exterior motives, but it's because you really want to do this sport for the long term. And I also say like be prepared to sacrifice a lot. Like when I train for my season, I rarely hang out with my friends and I don't really have a lot of time. And it's all like squished between balancing of sports and school. And like during my break in sports, I'm studying. During my break in studying, I'm doing my sport. So yeah, just be willing to sacrifice because you love it so much. Yeah, and my parents also did a lot for me. I would say it takes a village to build an athlete. And like whatever successes I get is because my parents has helped me along the way. I would like to claim credit for it, but I don't think I can claim full credit. Yeah.
And probably claim part of it.
Yeah, part of it.
Yeah. So that, yeah, can I hear from you also, like, because I know that there are many moms and dads who think that going through DSA could be a better road for their kids. Yeah, but they may not know what is the life for their kids in a sports school. So what are some of the tips that you can give to the parents with kids who wants to focus more on sports?
Oh, I think just follow their dream. Let them do what they want. I mean, you can't, force. I mean, not that you can't, but I don't think it's right to I don't know, change someone's dream. How old to go DSA?
12 years old.
12 years old.
Okay,
12 I don't know. Some kids, if they are mature enough to know what they want, I think you have to believe in them. But I don't know. I mean, I'm sure every parent will understand their children most, whether they want to go in because they really believe in the sports, or they want to go in because they just don't want to study. I mean, I, as in not don't want to study, but one don't want to study so much because they want to concentrate on sports instead. So I'm sure you know your child the most. So I guess if they really are passionate about the sport, then why not?
Yeah, and sports school, you actually is actually tougher than any normal school. Like I'm not in sports school, but my partner, she used to be in sports school, and they actually train in the morning, study the whole of the evening, afternoon, and then train again at night. So I would think if they're willing to put in this hard work, like why not? Like it's actually more effort for the child, and like if they really like it, why not? Like my sister's actually really interested in gaming, and she plays a lot of computer games and everything. And instead of, I think what I saw that was like super eye-opening is instead of stopping her and like, oh, you shouldn't game so much or whatever, they actually bought my sister the proper gaming consoles. Like if you wanna game, must well like push yourself further and like be better in the game, right? Like don't just be mediocre. Like push yourself.
So because it's even harder to find passion in a child than, I don't know, if the child doesn't really enjoy studying but he or she is passionate about something, I think that's quite rare.
Yeah, my sister did like a cooking challenge. Like during COVID, like most parents I feel would like make their children do like, okay, must do this assignment book by today, must do this assignment book. Like my parents' job to my sister was like every day you have to cook something new.
Oh.
So to cook something for the family every day.
Yeah.
So
wow.
she made about 60 dishes.
Yeah, creme brulee, everything, and she learned so much.
Sorry, did I hear 60 or 16?
60.
So in 2 months,
wow.
she either cooks or she bakes every day. So we get to try something that she made for 2 months.
And she's only 10 years old, and she was cooking for us meals and everything. So I think like don't limit your child. Like even at a young age, they can be very passionate in something. And like we come together every day as a family, like really excited to try her food.
I mean, there's hit and misses, but yeah. I mean, as like I said earlier, as long as they try their best, you'll taste the best. You'll be super tasty for us.
Yeah, and it also warms the heart as well when you eat what your child cooks for you.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I forgot that I still have to show your clip. Yeah. So I'm finding the right time to show. Okay, probably before we end off just last two parts, so that there's a proper flow lah. Yeah. So that's, I think you have shared a lot, and really I think lots of tips even for me as a father to apply at home as well. Yeah, but I still can't cook leh. Maybe I can learn from you. Yeah. So what will be the takeaway for the parents who are watching this in terms of parenting?
Well, I think I mean, everybody's situation is different, but
Yep.
if you try to spend as much time as you can with your children, and by spending time with them, you interact, you communicate, you know, things happen when you spend time with them, and these are the things, these are the moments that you know you will treasure for life. I mean, there's like hundreds of testimonies out there saying that a dying person will not think about work. I mean, the dying person will think about the family. They will regret spending more time with the family, and this is the time you have right now. So yeah, I think spending time with your children. I mean, if until your children grow up and then they go, I don't know, maybe overseas to study. So you have 18 years to spend with your kids, and then they are like gone.
No, okay,
I mean,
no,
not gone,
gone.
but you know, they won't spend so much time with you anymore. So yeah, I guess spending time.
Yeah, I think I agree also. Like, even though I'm 18 and I know like a lot of teenagers would like want to like distance themselves from their parents, I feel like because like my parents have understood that like as a person I'm not perfect, and neither are they. Like, we have more like a collaborative spirit, and we are more like of this like on the same level, and we try to like understand one another. And I will still be here like every day when he drops me to school. Like, some people will be very embarrassed like because their parents send them to school. Like, I always kiss my father goodbye, like hug him and everything. I think it's because of the time that we spend together, and also more of like within the time that we have, like what are we actually doing, you know?
Because you got a free ride, that's why.
No. Yeah.
And it's worth it lah. And it's worth it still.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. At the same time, I want to take this opportunity to share with the parents what you are doing. Yeah, because I think many parents may be wondering what is indoor skydiving. So allow me to just spend some time to show the clip, and then I will just lower down the volume. Then you can just share with the parents just what is it about and what their kids can anticipate if they are keen to explore these sports.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, just give me a minute. Yeah.
Should I mute myself?
No, it's fine. Yeah, because I will need your help because you're the expert here.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, give me a minute. Yeah.
Of course.
Okay. I can find this clip because I think this is one of my favorite.
Okay, but I don't think people will really understand though, because we're not really doing any routine.
Oh, okay. So which one do you recommend? I mean, I can find.
Maybe like you search Wing Games 2018.
Win Games, yeah.
Yeah, WIND GAMES.
Yes.
2018.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so which one do I see? There's
maybe there's one with my name on it.
Win Games 2018, Kyra Poh, winner finals freestyle. Is that the one?
Yeah, I think so. Or any one of them.
Okay, hold on, yeah. Okay, just give me a minute. Okay, hold on, yeah. Okay. Okay, this is the one, right? Okay, I'll just play for a short while and then I will just lower down the volume, and maybe you can just share with us some of the things that the kids can expect if they want to venture more into these sports. Okay? Okay, Kim, can you roughly share with us what it's about?
Oh, okay. So, indoor skydiving is like a free fall simulator where you basically fly. I think, like for me as a child, I always had a dream of wanting to fly, and I always would tell my father because, like when I was young, I would draw drawings of me flying. So, like obviously, my parents knew that I had this passion of flight since the beginning. So when they knew about this tunnel, and my mom was helping iFly do the advertisement, they obviously like asked me to go, and since then I've been loving it. I've been doing over for half my life. So I'm really happy, and it's really really fun. I don't think any child would not want to be able to fly. It's like a superpower, like to be a superman or like whatever since young. So I think it's a once in a lifetime opportunity, and I'm very happy that I can do it.
So for parents who want to explore more on this, probably even bring their child down to take a look, how can they start doing that?
Yeah, we have a tunnel at Sentosa called iFly Singapore. So if you want to go, like, just go and check it out. It's really, really fun. And yeah.
Okay, great. Wow, this looks fun. Okay, just let me do stop sharing, pause for a while, and then stop sharing.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we have come to the end of the sharing, and I always will ask one last question for to my guest. Yeah, so is it okay? I can just ask you one last question. Yeah. Okay. Because we run a Facebook group for parents who teach their children primary school math. Yeah. So nowadays parents have to learn maths to teach their children maths.
Yeah.
And we sit for PSLE multiple times. Oh, that's really stressful. Yeah. So right now, as you know, PSLE is coming soon. Another 5 more weeks or less. And primary sixers are feeling the tension. Yeah, or maybe some very chill lah. Yeah. Okay, so let's start off with that first. Yeah. So that right now you are a dad and you have brought up wonderful kids. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So right now, if I may invite you to walk down the memory lane and go back to your younger self, and as you walk down, you meet the 12-year-old Roy. He's so close to you, yeah, that he's looking at you, and you can almost touch him, yeah. What will you say to the 12-year-old Roy? No wrong or right, can be anything.
Wow. Very interesting question.
Yep.
Um,
Can be anything, yeah. Just take your time to think about, because I think there's a lot of things that you may want to say. So much things that happen across the years. Yeah.
As in to tell my 12 years old to do something to change the future or something like that.
Oh, it can be anything. It can be anything. Or I mean, probably make it simpler. Like, okay, now you're the older self, then you bump into your younger self. What will be the first thing that you say to him?
Wow. Okay, I will tell him, don't change anything. Everything is well.
That's so boring. That's so boring.
Well, I'm happy now, so
Okay.
yeah.
Fine.
Yeah, I guess don't change anything.
Okay. Anything else
No.
from Daddy? Well,
He seems
Kyra?
very satisfied.
Sorry again?
So he seems very satisfied and happy. So,
Yeah, with what he has built and also with his own kids, I'm sure.
yeah. I think my mom's watching also. So hi, mom.
Hi, Mom Nature.
Yeah.
What about for you? Now you're 18 years old. Yeah. So if let's say you meet your younger self, the 12-year-old, what will you tell her?
I'll tell her not to stress about PSLE, first of all. I think life is so much more than studying. Like, as a 12 years old, my parents didn't put any stress on me. It was all on myself. And like even my mom actually like brought me on a holiday just before PSLE. but I mean I would say like life is so much more than studying, and it's more about the experiences and journey. So yeah, I would tell myself to actually I'll give myself tips because I already know the PSLE questions, right? So then I will help myself. But I will just tell myself to relax and just enjoy the time that you have with your friends and family. Because you never like studying and everything, you can continue it like elsewhere, but family, like once like you lose somebody, I think it's the worst. So just spend as much time as you can with the people that you love.
Wonderful. Wow, this is so heartwarming coming from a teenager. Okay, thanks so much for being here, and I really learned a lot from both dad and daughter. Yeah, because I think I'm learning from both. Yeah. Okay. So, parents, thanks for being here. So I'll stop the Facebook live. So Roy and Kira, don't go off first.
Okay.
Just let me stop the live for a short while, and then I'll come back to you. Yeah. Okay.
Thank
Parents, have
you.
a good night. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.